We're back again with another episode of The Art of Beer. Today we are on location in YPO with Beer Lab Hawaii at the brewery with Eulerson Pajimula, and we're going to drink some beer.
Cheers. Let's get to it. Yeah, buddy. Woo. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, gentlemen. Yeah.
Cheers. What is this delectable
It's our
liquid we're drinking?
hazy double IPA called Sage Mode. Anyways, starting off with an IPA, which is not supposed to do and wreck your palate. But we wanted to keep the IPAs really easy on this one. Real drinkable beer at 8.5%. Yeah, but you know, we
This is nice, easy drinking for 8.5%. This could get you in trouble.
Idaho Gem and Sabro hops, and we wanted to incorporate or utilize hops in every single aspect that we learned. You know, our two brewers, Jay and Kyle, went up to hop school last October to the YCH hop school to learn how to use hops. It's the first time going there. I wasn't able to go up. Those two just learned everything they did, and I was like, hey, when you guys come back, just teach me everything, teach all of us everything, yeah, and brew a beer. And so, like, with all the techniques that they learned up there, we incorporated that into our SOPs or our processes, and we brewed this beer. So we added hops at 60 minutes, 30 minutes flame out. We added it at 0 minutes. Oh, that's flame out. 170 degrees Fahrenheit for like mildest isomerization. 140 degrees, and we dry hop twice. So a lot of hops. I think it's more like 4.8 pounds per barrel in this one.
It's crazy. Welcome to Beer Lab.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to Beer Lab.
You talk about brewers. You guys got a pretty good sized brew team going, all right? You have a few brewers.
Yeah, in 2016, we started off with the three owners of Beer Lab, Nick, Kevin, and Derek, and they were all home brewers as well. You know, I started off a homebrew club in 2012, where I was like, hey, it's the last Saturday of the month. Every last Saturday of the month, I kapu'd a gazebo at Arizona Memorial, where you can legally drink outside. Bring your home brews. Let's exchange and give each other constructive criticism. And that's how I became good friends with the owners of Beer Lab. And when they opened up in 2016, they're like, hey, you want to work with us?
Want to brew with us?
Yeah. So those three nuclear engineers are phenomenal minds. And then now in 2023, we have 4 brewers, myself and 3 other brewers included. We'll taste one of the brewers' beers next too. But you know, the 7 of us always collaborate when it comes to a new recipe that comes out. You know, everyone's like, how do you come up with these recipes? I was like, it's not just me, it's definitely a team effort here at Beer Lab.
You have 4 different minds, right? Yeah. Like, and all 4 of you have different palates, different likes, different dislikes, right? Yeah. And that sort of adds to that mixing pot of what you guys do every day.
Yeah, like, you know, the subjectivity of beer is what I love about it. So it's like, hey, we're brewing a Belgian. I don't like this about Belgians though. And like, okay, well, how do we take the bubblegum out of Belgium, out of Belgian beers, right? And I love bubblegum in Belgian beers, like that too, so. Yeah, we always collaborate with each other. It's always an honor working with, you know, 6 other guys that just are encyclopedias of beer, encyclopedias of brewing.
I think when you think about a lot of people collaborating on something, I always think about like what the writers of like The Simpsons did. They locked each other in a room for 3 hours and they came up with episodes. Right? They just didn't leave the room until it happened. So I mean,
is that kind of how you guys work?
Every 2 weeks we have a special release, and it's oftentimes a collaboration with another, you know, not necessarily brewery, but another company in Hawaii, like Zippy's, Asato Family, Ube Golf, Liliha Bakery, all of that kind. And like, how do we add this extra ingredient in our beer? Like, there's 4 main ingredients of beer, but Zippy's wanted to add dobash, Ube Golf wanted to add melona, Liliha Bakery wanted to add poi donuts in their beer. Like, how the heck do we do this? And so it's, you know, perhaps one of us has done it at home before. You know, there's no rules of homebrewing. So, you know, we've probably made it before between the 7 of us. So.
You guys did a collaboration with a fishing lures company too, right?
Kapanya lures,
You didn't throw ahi in, right?
I was like, oh man, maybe we should just put our lures in or some papillo inside, yeah. But that one we just decided to do it with Li Hing Lilikoi. You know, a beer meant for
fishing.
Yeah, to pair with fishing. Again, we're all about pairing beers with experiences in Hawaii instead of, like, you know, you can pair it with food, you can cook with it too, but it's mostly like where you take the beer. We're all about enjoying the beer.
It's the lifestyle.
Favorite friend, yeah, just like, you know, our beers pair with favorite places, I guess you can say at Beer Lab.
Well, favorite places and favorite people. I mean, that's kind of what a lot of what we talk about here is beer in Hawaii and
friends, family, and favorite places.
Who are you hanging out with? So we're gonna go and get some beer with our favorite people. Let's come back with these guys and we'll drink some more beer in a second.
For all your money needs, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union is here for you. Visit hificu.com. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser Digital Full Access subscription for $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHITHING.
And we are back on the Art of Beer, and we are at Beer Lab Hawaii's Waipio Brewery. We were at Eulerson. We were drinking some beers. What are we having now?
This is our Magnus Monicus Belgian Quad at 9.3%.
Magnus glass.
This is the largest glass.
Hey, we're at Beer Lab, like, you know.
We're doing it big.
Yeah, we're not about proper glassware here.
Oh my goodness.
9.3% Belgian Quad.
This is very traditional for Beer Lab, right?
Yeah,
I mean, normally people know Beer Lab for kind of doing a lot of lab experiments.
Yeah.
I don't even taste the Li Hing.
No Li Hing, no Ube, no Pandan in here.
Tell us about this beer then.
Like we previously talked about, we're all about a collaboration when it comes to our brewers and our owners coming up with beer recipes. So what we do sometimes, or oftentimes, every quarter, we brewers during our meeting pick a special yeast to bring in from around the world. So we brought in a special monastery ale yeast from Belgium. And then when we brewers get together, it's like we all come up with a recipe and we figure out, like, based on ABV and how to use that one yeast that we picked, who gets to brew first, second, third, and fourth. We harvest that yeast and we pitch that into the next beer, And we take into consideration what the yeast does and what that will do for the next beer.
Right.
So this is our first of the series, the Belgian series, that Kyle Katakura, one of our brewers, came up with. So this is his recipe, really phenomenal stuff. I think what made it unique is the date sugar he added to it.
And what does that add to a beer when you're adding, like, because normally it's malt, hops, water, yeast, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the date sugar add?
We didn't know. I guess neither did he. But, you know, as it's fermenting, we're tasting those vessels every single day. We pour out an ounce and we taste it and see what's happening during fermentation. And we noticed, I guess, from date sugar that the yeast produces some acids that react to the ethanol and creates more esters that we weren't expecting. And that's something we have 100% embraced here at Beer Lab. Like, oh, wow, that's new. Jot that down. We know how to use date sugar.
So instead of getting what you look at this beer and you think you're going to get a big malty, kind of like sugary finish,
Heavy.
but that acid is kind of giving it a really drier.
Yeah.
Like it's a real, like you want to go back in for another sip, and it's dangerously
And it's
high in alcohol.
9%. But it's
9.3.
light, but it's not thick and heavy as it looks.
Yeah.
It's dry.
Yeah.
But there's
Kind of want to honor tradition with
Yeah?
with what we're doing here.
Belgians like big dry beer.
So Kyle did a phenomenal job.
He did.
And then next is Jay's Saison. I'm not. It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming out
it's
soon.
coming
And
out
Jay's
soon.
Saison with figs, and I think I'm gonna make a Saison also with maybe rosemary and lemon. We don't know yet. Maybe a bay leaves and black peppercorns for adobo. I don't know yet. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah, all of that's coming out down the line. But as this yeast, finishes, we harvest it, and that'll tell us when to brew the next batch.
When it's expensive, right? Buying a yeast it's a chunk of money.
Right,
So
yeah.
by being able to harvest that and then using it in the next beer, you're getting a little of you're saving some money, but you're also getting a little terroir of that beer.
Absolutely, yeah. And to just kind of, based on our expertise, what to expect from the, generation 2, if it mutates and creates different flavor profiles in Gen 3, and anticipate what will happen in Gen 4. And that's kind of my job at Beer Lab, is just to kind of plan 3 months in advance what happens to our beers with yeast generations or water chemistry, all of that kind of stuff.
So talk about that, because you guys are, the lab part of Beer Lab is that you're always experimenting. You're always switching things up, and rarely, if you come into the brewery, are you gonna see the same beer on the board to order from, right?
Right.
How do you guys do that? Like, coming up with new things every week, every other week? What's the frequency?
Inspiration comes from everywhere. I mean, we come up with like 3 beers a week, oftentimes. So if you're here twice a month, every time you come in, it's a whole different board. If the locals are like, "Hey, brah, you gotta brew this again," No, we'll brew it again, but we'll add that down the line.
A year from now.
Yeah. 3 months, 6 months. Yeah, we'll add that down. We'll add that on
It
deck.
gives a little anticipation to somebody. They want that to come back.
Yeah.
They look forward to it.
Right. When I pull work and I see the same guy asking for that beer, I'm like, hey, brah, I heard you. We're brewing them again, brah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of I mean, I guess that's the collaboration part between you, your other brewers, the owners.
It's not just me, all credit goes to Kyle, Jay, Nathaniel, and the 3 owners, Kevin, Derek, and Nick. But we always, you taste all of you taste all of us. But we're all in this beer, together.
Well, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go come back, grab another beer, keep tasting more of Beer Lab's amazing creations. Come join us.
See Dr. Oda at HEC Medical Clinic Honolulu Specialist in laser weight loss. You can see the change losing 1 to 2 inches instantly. Pacific Spray Wash is Oahu's #1 trusted exterior cleaning service. We deliver a spotless job for all your pressure washing, roof cleaning, house washing, and solar panel cleaning.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Art of Beer. We are at Beer Lab with Eulerson, one of the brewers here, and what are we drinking today?
This is our Lab Lite, our lightest beer. We're going backwards at 4.7%.
Here we're going from big to
But
big to light.
this one's meant for friends,
Everything.
family, and favorite places.
That's a beach beer right there.
We brewed it to pair with the local lifestyle. All of us are very active. I do jiu-jitsu almost every day. The owners play baseball and golf, and we just paired it with everything of Hawaii, from Mauka to Makai. When you go camping, when you go fishing, it just pairs with us. Yeah.
Something you want in the cooler, right?
Yeah, totally. After a trail run or a surf session, whatever.
Our little twist of it too is it is a blend or a fusion of like a Japanese lager and a traditional German lager too.
Right, because you're adding rice into it, right? The light
Japanese
in the
rice
bottom.
into light-
What does that
yeah,
do?
light
What does that do to the beer?
It lightens the body as well as adds a little bit more alcohol. When we add it during the mash, it does saccharify, so those carbohydrates do turn into smaller sugars. The yeast eats the sugars, poops alcohol, and farts CO2. And that's how we make beer. It's a giant biochemistry experiment. Cheers, folks.
You like the science.
We love the science, yeah. And I guess that's kind of my job, with the 7 of us as a hive mind coming up with different recipes. My job is to make sure that the science is sound before we actually brew the beer. Everyone asks oh, how big is your test batch? Like 5 gallons? Like, no, it's a full 250-gallon batch. Yeah. But my job is to make sure that if the science is sound, the beer should taste good.
Okay, so they trust you with 250 gallons of beer. But
Do it anyway.
But how did you get there? Like, where did you start? What was the origin?
Back in 2012, I guess I started a homebrew club called Homebrew Hawaii, where I threw it out on social media. Like, hey, every last Saturday, I kapu'd gazebo or whatever at Arizona Memorial at Rainbow Bay Marina, where we can legally drink outside only. And bring your home brews. We'll trade off. We'll taste each other's beer, and we'll give each other constructive criticism, and that way we can better our craft. And that's kind of how it started. I met the 3 owners, Nick, Derek, and Kevin, that way. In 2016, they're like, "We're starting a brewery. You want in?" I was like, "No, I'm a music teacher. I don't have the capital for that." And these nuclear engineers, but they're like, "Hey, let's hire you as our full-time brewer." And so I was in on day 1. Yeah, I was their first hire. Yeah.
And as a home brewer, you brewed a lot of crazy things. Like you were experimental. And that helped you into what you're doing today, right?
I guess it started off with brewing a clone recipe of Pliny the Elder, my favorite recipe, favorite IPA back then. And we didn't get any of that in Hawaii. It wasn't distributed here. So I brewed a clone recipe that I found online. I brewed it, and 3 weeks later, it tasted terrible. It didn't taste like Pliny the Elder. I remember bringing it to your house, and you're like, "Good try, Euler." And I was like, this is not my expertise. If I want Pliny the Elder, I'll just ask my relatives in the Bay Area to send some over. If I want any of the top 10 IPAs which weren't found in Hawaii, I'll just have someone bring it over.
It's kind of the thing with homebrewers we hear a lot is they started to brew something that they couldn't get here. You know, their favorite style that wasn't really available in Hawaii is why they started trying to brew it at home, because they wanted to replicate that so they could have what they like.
So my approach was more like, you know, instead of making these clone recipes, like let's do another, let's go towards another direction. Let's add a special fifth ingredient to it. And I guess when I started home brewing and meeting, you know, the other brewers also, their specialty was also adding something else into their beer, something that's never been done before. Lihimoy, ube, centipedes, you know, like cockroach, you know, all that stuff too. And it's just, you know, there's no rules in home brewing. And I guess, you know, when we do collaborations every 2 weeks with other companies on the island, they're like, hey, can we throw this in? And we're like, oh, yeah, we've actually done that before. Maybe 8 years ago, but you know, I'll look back on my notes and we've actually done a Lihimoy beer. We've actually done a spam musubi beer. We've done it before, and we know how to better utilize those ingredients in our beer.
Hey guys, we got to take a break. We're with Eulerson at Beer Lab. We'll be right back after this break.
Cheers.
For all your money needs, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union is here for you. Visit hificu.com. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser digital full access subscription for $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHITHING.
All right, welcome back. I hope you guys grabbed a fresh beer, because we sure did, and we're about to get into it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Gentlemen.
What is this purple thing?
Ube Be Baby.
Ube Be Baby.
Cream ale with ube. You know, I was born in the Philippines, paying homage to where I came from. I wanted to make a beer that was, I don't know, it reminded me of my Hanabara days, yeah? So ube is a staple in everything Filipino desserts.
For people listening that aren't from here, what is ube?
Ube is a yam, and you often find it in like desserts. It's a purple, anything purple.
Sweeten it, right?
It's pretty high sugar, right?
Yeah. But it's
Purple
known
sweet
for its
potato.
purple, yeah, almost like a sweet potato, but it's like more like a yam. The skin is what makes it purple. If you cut it in half, it's white in the middle. The skin is what makes it purple. Yeah, in opposed to like Okinawan sweet
I was going to say
potato.
opposite of Okinawa.
Yeah, so we brewed a beer with Okinawan sweet potato, but that was for our Okinawan festival, and now for our Filipino festival, which is every day, we made the ube beer.
So is that how you, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this beer is purple. Completely purple.
Yeah.
And it's, if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, that's purple juice.
Yeah.
How, is that the skin make it all purple?
The skin makes it all purple, yeah. And then we steam it, we use a puree that we add to it too. And there's different secret techniques of how to utilize special ingredients in our beers at Beer Lab. But you know, it's our first time also making a cream ale, which is a beer with corn. And oftentimes corn is like an off flavor in beer. Yeah, you don't want cream corn in that.
DMS.
But we definitely embraced that chemical compound in our beer. Another of my favorite Filipino snack is like this thing called sweet corn. You can get it anywhere else, but yeah. It's a sweet corn snack. It's kind of like Cheetos, but it tastes like sweet corn.
Yeah.
And then I hope that's what you get in our final flavor also too.
They're like corn nuts, but they're puffed, right?
Yeah. And a ton of sugar added to it too, yeah.
This is like that without the sweetness. Because it still finishes really dry.
Right.
There's not a lot of sweetness in this.
No,
Because a lot of ube products tend to be sweet. They're sweetened with sugar, right?
Yeah, we're all about, you know, even when it comes to any of our collabs, we're all about beer first. The reason why we love beer is we love the taste of beer. There's other breweries out there that's just like, if it's a banana waffle, it tastes like banana waffles, but we want it to be a little bit beer first.
Well, balance is important.
Absolutely, yeah, all about balance. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this is like you
you
taste
guys
the
enjoy
ube.
it.
Yeah, you taste the ube.
Yeah, it's definitely purple, might stain your teeth, but oh no.
Is this an ingredient you experimented with homebrewing?
You don't remember? I brought it to your house. I remember going to your house back in maybe
A long
11
time
years
ago?
In his defense, he was drinking.
I brought
all the
like
time.
6 beers, and I was like, "Hey Tim, can you give me some constructive criticism?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, good job, nice try." You know, but no, I always looked up to this guy.
Tim is the guy you go to when you want the truth.
I remember like following. Yeah, I remember
Homebrewing
looking
is
forward.
hard.
Yeah, back then I looked forward like every 2 weeks, every month, the Beer in Hawaii blog that she used to write.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we.
That's how we met.
That's how we met. Yeah.
But you were doing all these homebrews back then that were, I mean, you were using ingredients that now seem normal in a way, but 10 years ago were out of this world. I mean, you were trying to do things that people weren't doing, right? And people would be like, oh, that's blasphemy.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like you know, and now
There's only 4 ingredients in beer. Yeah.
Right, and maybe you would up the hop, like people would up the hops, but like you were trying to make a spam musubi beer.
Yeah.
Like who the hell was doing that?
The rice went in the mash, the nori went in the boil, the spam went in the dry hop, you know? Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, that's not out of the like realm of possibilities.
Again, inspiration comes from everywhere. I mean, growing up in Hawaii, I was born in the Philippines, grew up here. I came here when I was like 20 months old. But like, growing up here, I remember eating like raw saimin at recess every you know.
Break it and shake up the bag.
Yeah, well, what if we do raw saimin beer, you know, like that, yeah. Get the oriental flavoring, put them in the beer, you know. All that kind of stuff too. So I mean, like, we find inspiration everywhere. And then thank goodness to all of these, you know, and this is just some of the many that we've collaborated with. But you know, all of these companies, not only breweries, but companies of Hawaii that we've collaborated with, gives us inspiration. Like, we want to add this into beer. We want to add churros in beer, or pandan, or again, poi donuts. You know, like how do we incorporate that in beer? And like out of the 7 of us, you know, 3 owners and the 4 brewers, like we've all done it. We've done it somehow. We know how to use it. Again, our test batches is a full 250-gallon batch. Yeah, we've done it. Let's go.
Well, I like that all or nothing approach. We're like, look, we don't have a little research batch. We're gonna go all into it.
Yeah.
You guys do your homework, and the collaboration is great. How you guys get everybody involved. So we got a good lineup in front of us, and we're definitely gonna dive into it. But you're gonna have to come and check us out on our extended edition on YouTube, because we're gonna sign out right now and head over there. So get on YouTube, come check us out with Eulerson. Cheers.
All right, welcome back to the extended version of The Art of Beer. We're here in beautiful Waipio, Hawaii. We're with Eulerson Pajimula at Beer Lab Hawaii, their main brewery for now, because there's more coming.
We got a 4th location opening up.
But save that, because we got all these amazing beers right here, and we're all going to choose one. These are some of your special collabs, right? That you guys do in all kinds of local kind communities, right?
Yeah.
So let's pick one.
Pick one. Let's pick one. Anyone.
Okay, here we go.
I'll let you know what you're tasting.
We all have different beers, so you gotta bear with us. Woo! Mine looks like Li Hing Mango. Mine is Li Hing Mango.
Mine's green.
This one has a peanut that seems to be rubbing jelly on it.
Okay, what do you got there?
I got a melon.
What does he got?
That was a collab
with OB Golf.
Okay.
Once a year, we hold a golf tournament for a nonprofit, BLH.
What's that taste like?
Oh, it's definitely got some melon to it.
I mean, so again, we try to balance the science of the art of brewing. That one we got with 7-Eleven.
We call it the art of beer here.
Yeah, we the science behind that is we went and bought as many Melona bars as possible, threw that in the beer, and let science do its work.
I kind of like your approach to everything. You're like, just throw it in the batch.
Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we don't. Yeah. But that one is definitely.
At one point, they were like, you can't buy any more Melona bars.
No more Melona bars.
Sorry, 7-Eleven cut you off.
They thought you had a problem.
And what do I have there? This is a Li Hing Mango, right?
That's our newest release.
That is Li Hing.
Over 30 pounds of Li Hing Mango powder in there. 50 pounds of ripe mango. Just easy going. That was not a collab, but that was one of our special releases.
That is.
We just wanted, again, nostalgia, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And what do you have there?
This is a collab we did with Rev High. I race autocross on Saturdays, Sundays also. So we did this with one of the race companies that I got my wheels from. We brewed a 10% Imperial Lager, went to one of the grocery stores, stuck out our hand with our shopping cart and bought all the churro cereal on the aisle. We stuck it out. And like 40 boxes came in our cart. We're like, Auntie, do you get more in the back? She came out with a whole pallet of more churro cereal and then added all of that stuff in the mash tun.
That's funny, because the guy who went in behind you was looking for one box, and he probably looked at you and was
"What
like, asshole.
My daughter needs that churro cereal. We need it all."
If he drove faster to the store, he could have gotten it.
If you join our race club, I'll teach you how to get there faster. And what does Dave have?
You see this label? This is amazing.
Rub up on my belly like
guava jelly.
So that's another Beer Lab special release, not a collaboration with any other company, but we brewed that one with powdered peanut butter and just local guava jelly. Some science went into it, but most of it again was just shuck it in the beer. Let's see what it does to it. We did pick powdered peanut butter. We don't want oil in the beer.
That's just dehydrated peanut butter,
Peanut
right?
butter. Yeah. And that's some of the trade secrets that we use here at Beer Lab to incorporate those flavors in our beer.
Well, I mean, it's in the name, lab, so you guys do the science behind
All
it.
different
Make sure
kind of
it's
stuff,
in it.
again, yeah.
It's not just tossing it in and seeing if it works. You guys actually put some work into it. So.
Well, how many collabs have you guys done?
I can't even think, man.
Like, you guys have been doing them since, well, you started like sort of around the time the
COVID
pandemic started, right?
Yeah. You know, we wanted to be like, how do we collaborate with Hawaii?
Right.
Yeah, and it was like all of these local businesses that, yes, sometimes we're struggling, but when we opened up our Pro Ridge location, it was the old Applebee's in Pro Ridge, and we knew how to do beer, but we didn't know how to. It came with a full kitchen. We didn't know how to do the kitchen, so we had a few friends that own food trucks that were like, hey, there's no more foot traffic where I park my truck at, and we're like, hey, let's keep your head above water. Why don't you take Monday, Tuesday, you take Wednesday, Thursday, you take the weekend.
Right.
And then you guys share the chiller and all that stuff. You guys take care of the food, we'll take care of the beer, you know? And that's kind of how we started our Beer Lab Pro Ridge, the hall at Pro Ridge is, you know, our food truck friends who own, the food trucks would just cook what their specialty was during those 2 days and then we'd switch off.
Right.
And as restrictions kind of went down, one of our friends were like, hey, my spot is opening back up, so I'm gonna step back. We're like, go, do your stuff, yeah. Glad we can keep you ahead, or keep you above water, yeah. And then now we're ended up with Sister Truck or Unju, our head chef at the Hall Pro Ridge, and she's all about
Killing it.
She's all about local Korean fusion. So I was like, hey, it's 4th of July. Oh, what you gonna make for 4th of July special, food special? She's like, I can make bulgogi and kalbi.
Bulgogi hot dogs.
I'll make my specialty. I'll make some kalbi with some Korean pear. Like, let's go, girl. Yeah. But it's so fun. But it's just, you know, like it's the community that we have, that we've grown or that we've made friends with. You know.
But it's everything from like Zippies to Laliha Bakery. It's all these like sort of Hawaii like institutions that you figured out a way to collaborate with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like with this, the poi donut, right? Like that's.
I mean, like 100 pounds of poi donuts, and we're like, hey.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's all these. I mean, there's been dozens of them.
Yeah.
I mean, a watercress farm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Pro Ridge. So you have Sumida Farms. Like, how do you guys keep finding the like inspiration, or where do you find inspiration to like add things to beer?
We meet them on the golf course. We meet them in jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
It's the advantage of pairing with experience.
Absolutely.
Like, what do I want to drink right now with these rad humans?
Yeah. Sometimes
what do I want in my glass? You know?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even know who you're sitting next to at the bar until you buy each other a drink. You be like, hey, how's it going? You know. And then you find out like he's the owner of Hawaiian Brian's, right? And he has a super secret restaurant in the back called Wild Orange. Yeah. And then we brew it like, oh, you ready to brew a beer? I have an opening next Wednesday.
Let's do it.
And yeah, we brewed a super secret batch for his speakeasy. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to talk about speakeasy.
Because it's super secret.
It's super secret. But we did a batch with Wild Orange, you know. Yeah, we added local tangerines in it too.
But you're also supporting local brands and local businesses, and I think that's always been the Beer Lab sort of mantra. Is it's very Hawaii focused, right? You're not focused on brewing things for people in California, or it's if you come into Hawaii and you want to know what like a lot of like Hawaii flavors are, you come to Beer Lab.
Just come check out that wall.
Yeah, we have a hashtag, you know, because Beer Lab. But on the bottom of all our cans says, you know, brewed in Hawaii for Hawaii. Yeah. But it's just, you know, like the friends we meet, and if you have a dream, let's brew it. You know, we brew Village Idiots every year.
Pretty soon.
We're about to brew it in a couple days.
I love that.
We're gonna celebrate your 5th anniversary soon.
7. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So real quick before we have to go, tell us about what's coming up for Beer Lab, because you guys are always growing, always expanding. Like, what's next?
YPOs are, we have 3 locations so far. Right now we brew we're a 7-barrel brewery with 15-barrel fermenters. Our new location opens up on Beartanya. We share the same parking lot as Times over there, so you know where to park. Yeah. We'll be opening up very, very soon. But that one, we're a 15-barrel system with 30-barrel fermenters. Still bring your own
lots
food,
of good beer.
More beer.
Lots of more beer.
Right
beer.
down the street from our
And over
house.
here will be more like we can do more experimental stuff. So over there will be like, we've never had flagships, but I think after 7 years, it's about time.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Get some omakase on the
we'll have
regular.
Lab Lite.
Cola Loa on the regular,
Cola
maybe.
Loa,
Yeah. Some
all the
Nimbus on the regular.
We'll be looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, all of that stuff will be back. When Auntie and Uncle says like, you gotta brew this again, after like 1,000 times, you're like,
I got you.
Let's open up a 4th brewery and just brew it forever. Yeah.
Well, we can't thank you enough for having us here in your brewery, sharing all your experiences. Check them out, Beer Lab Hawaii. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.